everybody, this is Michelle with Creative Operation and Country Craft Creations, and I have a share for you that I wanted to do tonight. I'm super excited about it. I have had this paper by Country Craft Creations called Into the Forest for a really long time. As soon as it came out, I bought it. I loved it, but I was waiting for the perfect book to use it with because I really wanted to make a little golden book junk journal using a tutorial that Kim of Kim Can't Stop Crafting did, and I will have that link down below. I have done one of these before using her tutorial, and I had to do another one, and I was really wanting to do a Little Red Riding Hood book. I am super excited about this, and I hope you guys will like it. And I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of how I did it, or what I did anyway, and send you on over to Kim's channel so you can learn how to do it if you want. It's amazing. So again, this paper is by Country Craft Creations called Into the Forest. It's super awesome. I use the 8x8 paper collection, and I had so much fun with it. The images in here are perfect, and I just love them. So let's go ahead and get started. So it's a 2-signature book, and Kim shows you in the tutorial how to create the spine. I did a pamphlet stitch binding like she did, but I didn't use twine. I used some really small 16th inch ribbon that I have in my stash. So I used that to do that. And then I had some flowers that I wanted to use. So I did some in the corner here by that cute little squirrel. And then I cut out one of the cut aparts that says Once Upon a Time and put that up there. I did add eyelets and seam binding to keep it closed. So then I showed you the spine, again, 2 signatures, and I did opt to tie them on the outside. And then I did put a little dollop of glue on the knots just to make sure the ribbon wouldn't untie. Then on the back cover, I did use one of the cut aparts that says handmade by, and I wrote my name and the date. And I'm pretty sure I'm keeping this one because this one just turned out too cute. The one I did before was a Christmas theme one, and I loved it. I really did. But this one here, OMG. I absolutely love it. So I tied the ribbon through the eyelet, and then I just tied the ends together just to keep them separate. Or together, excuse me. And then when you open it up, I did put some lace here that I did buy from Country Craft Creations here. I just glued that on the inside cover. And then this is another one of the little cut aparts. It says Little Red Riding Hood. That's who it belongs to. So I just did some random things, so I'll just kind of go through real quickly. I did use the pattern paper, obviously, for this, and then I did use some artisan cardstock here to secure the inside of the spine. These hidden paper clips that I have throughout are just super simple hidden paper clips, and I did actually use them from scraps from my last design team package. I had Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Woodlands, and because it's Little Red Riding Hood and she's in the forest and there's mushrooms in this paper collection and all that stuff, I thought these are actually perfect to add in here because what's a junk journal without paper clips, right? So I made a bunch of random sized ones, and then I used some dies from my stash, and I isn't she gorgeous? She's just gorgeous. But I used some parchment paper and just used some seam binding scraps. I have a bag full of little scraps, and I just kind of went through there and picked the colors I thought worked. So I put her here, and you turn the page here, and back here there's another little cut apart with her in there, but the wolf is coming to get her. So I just thought that worked. And then here's one of the banner strips from the paper collection. I added some floral pieces that I had in my stash. So here's the cover page. I left the story in here so you can still read the story. Some lace down this page. This is some old ledger paper that I have, and I just added one of the cut aparts up here and a cut apart down here. Here's another one of the hidden paper clips, and then I added a piece of the pattern paper, and then I had a piece of parchment in my junk journal stash that I just did like a quad fold kind of journaling spot that you can tuck back there. But see the mushrooms in the paper collection, and then there's mushrooms in this hidden paper, hidden paper clip. So I thought, why not use those? So I kind of combined, scraps from my last design team package into this new project, and I just thought that was fun. This is coffee dyed paper that I did on my own, and then I did a decal edge on it. Behind here, a tag from my stash with some of the seam binding. And then here's another die that I had in my stash with kind of some random stitching kind of things. This is just a plain paper clip, and I put this tag here in a little bow. And then back here, the paper clip holds an envelope, and all I did, coffee dyed it, glued it here, and then inside, I have a bunch of these calendars that I found a long time ago and thought that would be fun to stick in here. I coffee dyed a bunch of them, so that's kind of one of my junk journal staples here. And then this is a die that I had in my stash that makes a wax seal, and I cut one of the mushrooms to put in the inside. This is a little half a doily with just a little tag, and then the tag actually is a booklet, so you can have a little secret journaling spot there, and then this will all stay closed with that paper clip. So another coffee dyed paper of mine, a die. This page here, I wanted that whole image, and I put that in the middle of the first signature, and I just thought it was gorgeous. Added a little tab up here. But aren't the mushrooms just gorgeous? I just think the colors are gorgeous. So we'll flip through again, some more pages. On this page here, so this page, I'll tell you, connects to this page. So what I ended up doing was I scored the page. I want to say, I could get my ruler and let you know. Let's see. I scored it at, let me see, I'm measuring here, like 5 1/4. And then the rest of the page is over here. And then what I did was I took this page here and I glued it to that and created a pocket. And then I added a little string closure. So that made a really cool pocket, and then I just flipped the rest of the page over and then did that. So then I used 2 of the images from the ephemera piece here for the string closure, and then on the inside I cut apart, and then coffee dyed library cards that I have in my junk journal stash. And then this just goes around like so, and then I just tied a little button to the end. Just because I wanted to. And this is one of Granny's buttons from Country Craft Creations. Little bit of trim here. This is a tag that I had in my stash. Little envelope I had in my stash, and then another tag. Coffee dyed paper. And I used this, the stitching here is die cut with artisan cardstock. And so I just kind of, like I sewed that there. I just thought it was kind of cool. Here I had a piece, this is the other side of the ledger paper that we saw before, and I just flipped it over and then used 2 of the cut aparts here as kind of a flip, and then this little paper clip here with seam binding to keep it closed, and then you can always tuck something under there. This page here is an envelope, and when I put this page in, you know, I scored it and it left this page over here. And then I thought, well, I wanted to do something with it. So I had this, well, it's not an envelope, it's a sack. And so I just glued it on 3 sides here to make a pocket, and added one of the paper clips that I made from my last design team package. And in here is a coffee dyed time card. And then used one of the paper collection, one of the cut aparts for that. And then here is a Western Union telegram paper that I got a long time ago, and it's a vintage, like, real deal copy, and it's been in my junk journal stash forever, so I wanted to add that in there. Back here, another library card that I coffee dyed, and then 2 little cards that I had in my journal stash. So on this page here, again, this page here is scored in half, and then I added a little bit of lace here. With some of the cut aparts, I created a pocket, and then I also made another tag with the mushrooms because I just can't stand them. They're so fun. So there's that. And then again, this is parchment paper from Country Craft Creations that I use to help make the tags. Another cut apart here, here, and here. I wanted to leave some space for actual journaling, so, you know, there's that. Here is a hidden paper clip with some doilies and some coffee dyed paper, and then tucked underneath is a tag from my stash. And back here, another cut apart with those mushrooms are just gorgeous. And then I added a flower here. made some tags out of the pattern paper, and then one of the cut aparts. That goes here. Another coffee dyed paper. I had this teeny tiny little pocket with teeny tiny little tags that I wanted to stick here. And then this is a ephemera piece that looks like it's tied. Looks like it's twine, but it's not. Another lace edge here. And here we go. Another one of the die cuts that looks like a coffee ring. Here is another hidden paper clip. And again, these are scraps that I had left over. I had very few left over from my last design team package. So, I mean, they made great hidden paper clips. And then this is a postcard that I had in my stash for my junk journaling. And then on the back here, I used one of the, oh, no, wait, I fibbed. There's the inside of that page. So it started with this, and then I kept that huge image too, because I just loved it. Another tag underneath the paper clip. Here is a cut apart here, and then a couple tags from my stash. The colors matched, so I thought that was great. This page, I added some more of the lace from Country Craft Creations, and then a few more little embellishments and lace over on this side too. Here is some more lace that I did on the edge, and then I used one of the border strips underneath it. So I thought that was really pretty too. Tied into the wolf who's going to get it. Here's another wolf cut apart here. And then here is one side of the paper. So this page right here is attached to the piece that I had left over, you know, from this side. So it got scored and then wrapped around here. And again, I did another pocket, but how I did this pocket was use another full piece of pattern paper. And then I glued it on the three sides so that it creates the pocket over here, and then just flip this edge over. And then when I did that, I wanted to make like a secret kind of journaling spot here. So I put a couple more pattern or coffee dyed papers in here, and then tied it with a pamphlet stitch right here. And then on the flap here, another pocket with another tag, and I glued it so that you could put a tag behind it. So there's that right there. And then in here, a library card. And then this is an old ledger paper that I didn't dye because it didn't need it. So there's that. Here's another little paper clip that I made from the design team. Oh, here's my clip. My clip fell off. There you go. So that clip is to keep that shut. And then here's another hidden paper clip with a tag. And then I added a little butterfly up here. And then here is another one that has a cut apart. And another little ephemera piece that I did with, you know, just over the edge so it sticks up a little bit. And then I fussy cut these mushrooms out too, so I used those. Here's another hidden paper clip. Isn't that pretty? I mean, I think it just fits perfectly. Just tuck a tag under there. And then I've got this side free. And then back here, I used another bulldog clip, and then I just clipped this old bingo card that I had in my junk journal stash, and then another tag here. So, and then I used the mushrooms here as well. I fussy cut those out of the scraps of paper I had left over, and then used that. And then just use the bulldog clip to do that. So that is my junk journal. This is a tutorial by Kim of Kim Can't Stop Crafting, and this is using Country Craft Creations Into the Forest paper collection. And I also used lots of lace and seam binding from Country Craft Creations as well to you know, make this junk journal. But then I also raided my stash of junk journal supplies and made that. So again, I also use scraps from my design team package, Simple Stories, Simple Vintage Woodlands. The little scraps that I had left over, just made some super simple hidden paper clips. Super fun to make, super fun. I love it. And honestly, I think this one is a keeper, and I'm going to keep it. So I don't think that's going in the craft sale. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Go visit Kim's tutorial, and I will see you again soon with more fun tutorials and things. Stay crafty. Have a great evening. Goodbye.